Good day, beautiful people. This is Natalie Silva with Life Treasures and Golden Moments, sharing with you true stories of miracles and stories of inspiration. To all my fans out there, welcome back. And for anyone new out there listening today, welcome aboard. It's great to have you with us. Before I get started today, I'd like to do a shout out to you all and ask if there's anyone out there that has a story of a miracle that's happened to them or a story of inspiration that you'd like to share. Please contact me at angelswhisper11@gmail.com. I would love to share your stories with our listeners, and I know they would enjoy hearing them too. So thank you so much. Well, here we are at the beginning of a new year, 2018, bidding goodbye to 2017. And when I think of New Year's, I always think of renewal. The opportunity to get those clouds out of the way from the past and those cobwebs that are there, and to find sunshine in your day. Each and every one of us needs a little attitude adjustment once in a while. And the story that I'm going to share with you will help you to do this. One of my favorite people and authors once said, "Change your thoughts and you change your world." How true it is. Positive thoughts, positive outcomes. Negative thoughts, negative outcomes. Our story today is called Two Strangers. My charmed life had been full of humorous moments, tidbits for laughter at the dinner table, and conversations with my friends. I've noticed that often my life stories begin with the words, "Guess what happened to me?" followed by stories of horrible dates or embarrassing situations. While comical and entertaining, none of these moments have held great significance or importance. I didn't realize that a true profound moment was heading my way one humid day in July when my car broke down in St. Joseph, Michigan. A mere 7 weeks before this breakdown, I left Michigan after walking out of a meaningless job, heading to Colorado to begin a new life and career at the age of 26. I felt deeply that this was my chance to make my way in the world, living out a dream working with kids at the YMCA in Colorado Springs. This dreamed new life never happened. Instead, I spent 4 of the 7 weeks sick before facing the fact that the altitude did not agree with my asthma. Forced to leave what I thought was my new, exciting life, I faced the unpleasant reality of returning to my ho-hum existence in Michigan, where my life status would read 26-year-old woman, single, unemployed, living at home with parents, and no idea of what to do with her life. Driving 1,400 miles alone, sick and down in the dumps, was awful, although the word awful doesn't fully describe how bad the reality was. The constant wheezing, shortness of breath, and heavy pain in my lungs caused me extreme discomfort, and the medication I consumed made me constantly drowsy. Relief appeared as I reached the Michigan border at about 10 p.m. Tired and facing a 4-hour drive, I pulled off from the town of St. Joseph, rented a room at a motel, and immediately went to bed. I hadn't noticed the exhaust fan in my car was still running as I walked into the hotel. I definitely noticed when my car wouldn't start the next morning. At that minute, in the parking lot of the motel, I just wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. On top of all the medical and mental stress heaped on me over the past 7 weeks, I now had to tackle not only a physical breakdown, but also a car breakdown. I just wanted to be home. Home! But here I was, stuck, sick, tired of driving, mad at having to leave an opportunity behind, and mad at the world. I've grown up listening to people tell me that God never gives us more than we can handle. It seems in moments like this that He likes to push the envelope. After a tow to the nearest dealership, I settled in the waiting room for the 2-hour repair. That's when I started talking to an older woman who sat a few chairs away from me. She had a friendly face, lined softly with wisdom, and approachable, kind of a motherly look. "So you're having some car repairs done?" she asked, with concern in her voice. I guess she could see the frustration on my face. Yes, I said with a sigh, my car just won't start. I had no idea what happened. I leaned back in my seat, put my head back against the blank wall behind me, and stared up at the dull fluorescent lights on the ceiling, contemplating how many hours I would be sitting there. That's when, unexpectedly, unknown to me, and at the strangest time, my significant moment began to unfold. It began normally as this kind lady and I started to talk. She asked me to tell her about what happened to my car. I did, and then we settled down into comfortable, casual conversation. The stuff you talk about with strangers in waiting rooms like vacations, the history of weather in Michigan, and places to eat. Then our conversation shifted from the obscure to more personal things. She talked about her struggle with feelings of guilt as she contemplated putting her 85-year-old mother in a nursing home. I tried to sympathize and told her how my parents themselves, into their 60s, were talking about getting insurance in case one or both would wind up needing a nursing home care. We talked about life, real life. We talked about my trip to Colorado, my asthma, her home, her husband retiring, and my parents retiring. "Your car is ready, ma'am," said the service manager to the woman. "Oh, thank you," she said. She stood up, and I smiled at her. She wished me luck as she gathered her purse and her car keys from the seat next to her. But then, as she was about to walk away, she hesitated and then turned back to me. "You know, I have to tell you something," she said. And I could see a serious expression color her face. The brightness in her blue eyes dimmed. They dimmed a bit as she glanced at the floor and looked straight into my eyes. "You know, my daughter died a few years ago. It's so hard even now to do just the simple things." She swallowed hard, exhaled deeply, and went on. "But every now and then I meet someone who reminds me of my daughter, and today you reminded me so much of her." She smiled with tears in her eyes and went on. "I believe that sometimes God puts people in my path to remind me of her and to show me that my daughter is still with me and that I can get through this. I've so enjoyed talking to you today." A genuine smile covered her face. "When you get home, I want you to hug your parents. They are very lucky to have you." I gulped down an enormous lump in my throat. I didn't know how to respond. I felt tears of my own welling up in my eyes, and all I managed was to mumble a lame-sounding, "Oh gosh, thank you." I was dumbfounded, confused, and most of all, sad. I felt so moved by what she said, so touched by this revelation about her daughter. And the wholehearted sentiment she put into telling me this: I'm a person who normally hides my emotions, but that day I stood up and I hugged her and said, "I enjoyed talking to you too," and I meant it. A few hours later, I pulled into the driveway at my parents' house. My mom came outside with her usual broad, inviting smile, and she wrapped me in a huge hug, the kind that generates love and warmth that only a mom can give. I was home. I hugged my mom with all my might. Since that day, I've never questioned why bad things, crazy things, funny things, or just plain everything sometimes happens to me. And I certainly never ask, why me, when I have car trouble again. Thank you to our writer today, Miss Maggie Collar. That was a beautiful story to share with us. Thank you for listening today. And before I close, I'd like to share another little quote with you all, written by Glory Abelhaas. And this is so true. Good fortune shies away from gloom. Keep your spirits up. Good things will come to you, and you will come to good things. So don't forget. This is Natalie Silver with Life Treasures and Golden Moments. Until next time, take care and God bless.